evening, everyone. Who would do such a thing? Try to break into a jail.
Grempy ramming his car through the front of the jail, shattering the glass. When he couldn't get inside, authorities say he drove into the fence outside the building and began climbing, getting tangled in the wiring.
Saylor broke into the Resolution's jail compound, climbing a pipe and hopping a barbed wire fence, claiming he was on the run from 10 men with guns.
Now, here's a story about an attempted jailbreak with a difference. Someone inside a jail in Brazil arranged to have files, drill bits and a mobile phone smuggled in, strapped to a cat.
Usually inmates who are locked up behind bars count down the days until they are usually finally released back into society. But for a small percentage of the population, some people feel compelled to break into prison. I don't understand this. It's not like prisons have a good reputation for their food or bedding. Like, what would be the reason? Let me know in the comment section below. Why would you break into prison? It's like trying to break into a sketchy motel with bed bugs. It's something that should never happen, but here we have some people who decided to throw their freedom away and break into prison. How's it going, YouTube? I'm your host for this one, Landon Do Not Sing, and welcome back to another most amazing top 10 video. If you guys like more prison videos, you guys should check out our prison playlist right over here. And also, I'm announcing it for the first time on this channel. We won this massive lawsuit that we've been in. If you guys want more information about this lawsuit that we just won, you guys can also click right over here. It was a massive win for us. Alright, so let's not waste any more time here. I'm actually really excited, but let's jump into this one. This is the top 10 times people broke into prison. Starting off this unusual list, and at number 10, we're talking about Chad Saylor. Police said that he climbed up a pipe and jumped over a barbed wire fence at the Resolution's jail compound in Hamilton, Ohio. Once he broke into the prison, he called 911 to tell the operator that his life was in danger.
Hunt for him. He says at least 2 of them came running down this driveway and eventually were able to make it into this back part of the complex. The whole time he told dispatchers he was watching overhead.
Apparently Chad said that he was being chased by 10 men who were all armed with guns. He said that he had nowhere else to go or else he would have died. I can think of so many other places than breaking into a prison. And you know what? He actually successfully broke into prison. That's pretty resourceful if you ask me. So this guy was caught in prison, and luckily for him, he's not going to be facing any charges. He's not going to actually be sent to prison. He's not going to have to stay there for a few days. I'd probably keep him for a few days though, for just being stupid. I'm like, you broke in here, like what did you expect? Why do you check out our food? Number 9 brings us to thieves. Usually we hear about criminals attempting, to break out of prison, but in this case, we have a couple of thieves who desperately wanted to break into prison in order to steal some tobacco, because that's the easiest way to find tobacco. I'm not an expert about breaking into stores and stealing things, but I can almost guarantee you that convenience stores have less security than, prisons. Prisons have police and guns. But I guess they proved me wrong, because these thieves, they actually managed to scale the prison fence, sneak past several guards, and steal around $10,000 worth of tobacco. I don't know, I have so many questions right now. Why is there $10,000 worth of tobacco in prison? If it is that easy to break into the prison and steal a huge amount of tobacco, I wonder if any of these inmates have ever tried to break out. I think it's time that the prison had a serious evaluation on their prison guards, because I don't think that they're very good at their jobs if you have people breaking in. And to end this story, not only did these guys break into prison and steal the tobacco, they were able to break out right after. I mean, oh man, talk about, hopefully this is not like a high security prison or something like that. Hopefully this is the prison that's holding Bill Cosby, because he's gonna easily be able to escape. Is it too soon to make Bill Cosby jokes? Okay, before we get into any trouble here, let's move on. A man high on Flakka comes rushing into this list at number 8. Flakka is a combination of heroin and crack. And see, you guys are learning something from this channel. So whoever takes this will feel a crazy feeling of euphoria. So when a man from Florida took it, he must have gotten lonely because he wanted to break into prison to visit his friends. Is this real life right now? Did this guy get FOMO? Don't you have other friends that are easier to visit? Well, apparently he doesn't, because he drove his car into the front door of the prison and then tried to climb over the fence.
Grempy ramming his car through the front of the jail, shattering the glass. When he couldn't get inside, authorities say he drove into the fence outside the building and began climbing, getting tangled in the wiring.
Well, now I guess he doesn't have to worry about being lonely or having FOMO, because he will see his prison friends in Gen Pop or out in the prison yard, because he's facing charges of aggravated assault, battery, and 3 counts of felony mischief. So let's just say he's gonna be there for a long time. Hopefully he doesn't have any other friends, because they'll break in and try to visit him, and then yeah. Up next, number 7, Snoopy breaks into jail. Okay, what the heck, Snoopy? What is going on? Was he trying to break out Charlie Brown? Is Charlie Brown in this prison? Well, not exactly. And I like how to explain, like, no, that's not what actually happened. Well, apparently a man thought it would be a good idea to break into prison dressed as Snoopy. So no, it wasn't actually Snoopy breaking into prison. There's no Charlie Brown. Well, actually, someone's name could be Charlie Brown, couldn't it? Well, he did this in an attempt to break out his friend. The officers at this jail were so confused, just like we're confused right now. They saw Snoopy trying to break down a staff door while waving a gun. This has to be one of the worst disguises in history. Even though this must have been hilarious to see, the prison guards took Snoopy very seriously because he was carrying a gun. But things went from bad to worse when Snoopy realized that he had broken into the wrong jail. I mean, is this real life right now? You can't make this stuff up. This has to be the worst jail break-in the history of this planet. He literally did everything wrong. This is not discreet at all. Secondly, he broke into the wrong prison. How does that even happen? And lastly, it turns out that his gun was actually a water gun. A Frisky Cat sneaks onto this list at number 6.
Now, here's a story about an attempted jailbreak with a difference. Someone inside a jail in Brazil arranged to have files, drill bits, and a mobile phone smuggled in, strapped to a cat.
I know this seems pretty far-fetched, but this cat was caught with a lot of contraband attached to its body. Apparently a bunch of Brazilian inmates trained this cat to deliver cell phones and tools that will be used to dig tunnels with. I mean, I'm pretty impressed here because I can't even get a cat to come over here. Like, come here, cat. They just don't listen to you. But their plan was put to a stop when a prison guard saw this cat with a bag attached to his body. The bag had saw blades and drill parts for concrete drilling and digging tunnels. It also had cell phones and a charger. Apparently this wasn't the only time this cat was seen sneaking into a prison, despite the prison guards being impressed by the inmate's ability to train this cat, in which I'm so damn impressed as well. I didn't know cats can, like, be trained. I can't confirm whether or not this cat will be facing any prison time, so let's move on. Number 5, we have one of the dumbest criminals. Tiffany Hurd desperately tried to scale a barbed wire fence in a crazy attempt to break into the Butler County Jail in Southwest Ohio. When the officers saw her trying to scale the fence, they told her to leave the property, but she refused. She told them that she wanted to be arrested, so without batting an eye, she continued to try to climb the fence, and this was right in front of the armed deputies. The officer said that she was clearly intoxicated, but I guess her dreams came true because she was arrested on a misdemeanor charge of disorderly conduct and criminal trespassing. I guess Tiffany Hurd isn't the sharpest tool in the shed, and once the alcohol wears off, she's gonna have a serious shame over and anxiety. And now at number 4, we have the most iconic prison break ever. Monique Armstrong's brother was arrested for driving under the influence and possession of drug paraphernalia. So she devised a plan to try and break her brother out of jail. But by breaking him out of jail, she was gonna first break into jail. You never thought of that, did you? Well, Monique thought it would be a great idea to first call 911 and alert them that she was trying to break into this prison to get her youngest brother released. That was her first mistake, and once she climbed over a razor wire fence, she tried to smash some shatterproof windows and asked to be arrested. That was her second mistake. The police booked her for criminal trespass, criminal mischief, and violating bail bond conditions. But as it turns out, her brother was released on bond just 5 hours after she was arrested. So hopefully he wants to break her out, but first he wants to break into prison. This is just ridiculous. So now the brother is a free man and she's now incarcerated. Yay. This has to be the worst plan I've ever heard. Barbed wire mishap comes onto this list at number 3. Sylvester Giles was 24 years old when he was sentenced to serve time behind bars for a manslaughter charge. But when his release day finally came, he begged prison guards not to let him go. He said that he wanted to be put back into their custody because he feared that the victim's family would retaliate and kill him. The prison officials said that they were unable to take him in and that he should file a police report. Well, instead of doing the logical thing and, heading over to the police station, he decided to climb a 12-foot fence at the Brevard County Detention Center to get back into the prison, but he was caught and hospitalized with severe cuts from the barbed wire.
With bandages covering his arm and foot, 24-year-old Sylvester Giles spoke with us from the Brevard County Jail. He says it was not only fear from Dustin Prowse's family that he was concerned with, but also from correctional guards.
Well, luckily for him, he was sentenced to 15 years in prison for violating his probation by trying to break into jail. So, I guess, good for him. The prisoner who broke back into prison with a home-cooked meal makes its way onto our list at number 2. Joshua Hansen was caught attempting to break back into a federal prison with a bunch of contraband, including alcohol, tobacco, and a home-cooked meal. It was discovered that the inmates from this prison were breaking out and then breaking back into the prison after they picked up contraband from a rancher on a neighboring property. Take a look at this picture right here. So the rancher left Joshua with a bottle of whiskey, 3 bottles of brandy, and a dozen packs of tobacco, snacks, and a large amount of home-cooked food. It literally looks like they went to a huge buffet. I mean, that looks like a great time out of prison, but unfortunately for Joshua, he was caught and rearrested even though he was trying to break back into his cell. How is this even possible though? And why bother trying to break back into prison? It's like, oh crap, I gotta get back. Curfew time. Like, he was literally a free man until he ironically tried to return back to his prison cell. And now at number 1, we have inmates who escaped jail, robbed a convenience store, and then tried to break back in. I'm not a criminal or anything, but generally when you're planning a prison escape, I don't think that escape includes a plan to break back into prison. But that's exactly what happened when 4 inmates successfully broke out of prison and robbed a convenience store. I guess they had a serious craving for some Dorito chips and candy. I know I get those cravings quite often. I always get up at like 2 in the morning, I can't see a damn thing, and I'm like, I have to go get some cheese from the fridge. It's just a thing, so I understand these guys a little bit. I literally can't wrap my brain around this. The inmates actually succeeded into returning to the facility undetected with all of their stolen goods. But when the police reviewed the surveillance footage from the store, that's when they realized what happened. I mean, this is the worst place ever. They didn't even look at their own security tape. They saw the security tape of the stores, and that's when they concluded what happened. The 4 inmates were charged with commercial burglary, but all 4 of them denied any involvement, which is just so funny. Like, that is not me on camera. That is another brown guy. We all look the same, alright? Well, there you guys have it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I thought I'd put a little bit more humor in this one for you guys because I'm really excited. Let me know if you guys liked it. Put hashtag more humor in the comment section below if you guys want more humor. I don't think I'm a really funny guy though. I tried guys. That's it for this video. I'll see you guys all in the next one.